those hallmarks of harm reduction is to be pragmatic in approach. And to us, pragmatic means then you have to fully understand where someone is coming from. And this would be part of it, understanding those complex psychological underpinnings of the practice. What Amnesty is saying, I thought this is a really interesting quote. So they're saying the most important psychological effect on a woman who has survived is the feeling that she is acceptable to her society, having upheld the traditions of her culture and made herself eligible for marriage. In fact, as I was speaking about earlier, when a woman or a girl survives the experience of FGC, of being circumcised, what you will see is not trauma, but pride and a sense of belonging. Few women have knowledge about anatomy and physiology. There are still strong cultural beliefs in supernatural forces that act in a very real sense to punish or harm people. A woman is saying, no, I think she can't become infertile because of circumcision. The fertility part of the woman's body is not on the place where circumcision is done. So in order to address harm reduction, we first have to establish the fact that the practice is potentially harmful. You might be wondering, what are the complications? So there are immediate, so this is when circumcision is happening or cutting is happening. Of course, pain, infections, hemorrhage, urinary retention, and sometimes death. The long-term gynecological sort of impacts, you can see that there are myriad health impacts related, and these are the ones that we are sort of seeing in our work with women, in our project. We try to bring this information, share it with the women. So we're affirming, yes, it is culture, but these things are changing. What do you have to say about this? What do you think about this? When we just recently held focus groups with youth, they understood our questions about change and what is changing, how does it happen, who is responsible for change. They understood those questions very quickly. The adults, the adult women in particular, had a much harder time. We had to do a lot more explanation of our even the conversation around change. So yes, there are differences by age and by gender. Recently we found we were speaking with focus groups of male youth in the community, and they said to us, interestingly enough, that they do not want to marry girls who are, in the language they would use, is circumcised, because they felt that FGC would impact on intimacy in the marriage and cause marital stress. So the questions are things like, how do we open up the dialogue then and address FGC and address change in a respectful manner? And how do we avoid creating stigma in the minds of women when before there was no stigma associated with this?